Hey, how's everyone out there doing today? Or I guess in my case, I should say tonight. Given the fact it's currently about 1:12 a.m. my time. So, I usually do these reports up with involving my medical criteria of that whole tether spinal cord thing I've been going on about. And pretty much everything is finally coming full circle with what I'm dealing with. Oh, check this out. Seems like it's my first time doing the video of this because I'm feeling pretty confident enough now, knowing and understanding what it is I'm currently dealing with, or should I say, my case, once again, all of my life, since the moment I was born, from what I've been dealing with. Starting from when I was told, following up to current time now, but dating back to the moment I was born. You see, from what I've been told, from the get-go of everything, whenever the doctors or anyone tried to hold me when I was an infant toddler at those stages of phases in life, I seemed to got more sporadic with crying and screaming. I wasn't a colicky baby or anything like that, but that being said, the doctors felt to chop it up to be at the time overly touch sensory stimulation. That's where the HSP factor comes into play with understanding with this condition of it being a tethered spinal cord, what I'm dealing with of what's going on here. So, because at that point in my life, everything being so loose and everything, so where I finally got everything loose again with the right medication, right regimen, exercise, diet, and everything. Ultimately, the ending of all this is going to succumb to spinal correction surgery, where they're going to have to go in to where it's tethered to the spinal cord, detach it, a tissue growth piece that shouldn't exist there, that's bridging my spinal cord with areas such as my spinal canal, areas, parts of my back, in a way that should never happen to any human being on the proper, natural way of development and being born. So that being said, in my case, I have these jolts and sporadic fluctuations. As I got older in life, things became more problematic for my health, such as inflammations and spasming and stuff like that. And again, as I said, with the right medication, the right information I'm working with, also learning see what I'm doing there, everyone? Hold on. Anywhere where there's enough tension built up in the stiffness area of the muscles is, I've come to learn, their indication of like pressure buildup due to the fact of what was explained to me in 2009 report of a neurological study that was done on me, apparently, such as at the end of all that, I was asked by a neurologist if I had a driver's license. And I said, no, why? So the neurologist continued to explain, good, because if you had one, I had to take it away from you. Kind of looked at her for a second and just said, well, I guess it's a good thing I don't have one, because if I did, she'd take it away from me. As I just said to her, well, I guess it's a good thing I don't have one then. So I said to the neurologist, if you don't mind me asking, what would the nature of the reason be is that? She continued to explain, such as, well, Mr. Lane, you got a beautiful brain in that head of yours, but the fact that whenever information seems to leave the brain and travel down the spinal canal and back up, that's when things seem to get mumbo-jumbo at times. Mushed up, information flow. So that's where capsulated cysts, things like that, areas of the body, places where they begin to form, places like that. I've already had to have a couple of them removed already in the chest area about 15 years ago. But there are many other capsulated cysts all over throughout my body internally because of this darn disease. Now, to finally bring everything to picture, to light, you're probably wondering, why do I have a telescope sitting here next to me, in front of me? I just came up with a way, finally, realizing how to better put the picture for everyone to see besides what's in the pictures themselves. So, being as a hobbyist in this sort of field of expertise, and I am an expert in all this now, been quite some time, actually, in fact, just lacking a few steps in between. So, what I have learned is such. So, it's the only thing realistically I can find around the premises where I can utilize. Here, give me 1 second there, folks. Mind you, this is my daughter's telescope, and I don't want to do anything at all to screw this up on her. She got this a few Christmas ago, and it's her pride and joy, her baby, her first starting off, learning scope and everything. And last thing I want to do is screw that up on her, everyone. So, precaution, cautious, and safety first. All right, now we got all the lenses out of the way and everything. I can make this a little more fun now, shall we? So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this scope, place it like this. And I'm going to angle the position of the scope. Yeah, I'm going to bring up some. Second there, stand by, everyone. So what I'm going to have to do is, I'm going to have to, there we go. There we go. There we go, lock her in a bit. Now let's check that camera angle on this side of things. Make sure you guys can see all of that. Boom. Nope. I got to bring her up just a little bit more. Just a second, everyone. There we go. Or I guess maybe I should probably try to bring it down a little bit more if I can. Oh yeah, I should be able to now once everything's angled correctly. There we go. Perfect. Alright. Here we have our scope. Now remember, we're on about medical profiles now, not telescopes and star surveying. So, what I'm going to explain next here is such as how the human body, when it comes to the spinal canal and the spinal cord, how the operation of all that inside works. This is what I mean by bringing physics combining with biology, understanding the two worlds of that very well. Finally, led me to the path of understanding what's all going on back there and everything else with involvement of it too. So now we got our scope acting as our spinal canal, where the spinal cord will be traveling down through. Now let's say, for example, this is spinal cord, right? Spinal cord, let's light it up, give it a little flare effect to it. That channels down through your spinal canal. Okay? Now if I can balance this just, oops, if I can balance this just right up. Hopefully balance it right there for you. Alright. You know, I attempted this first time around once, and I had it right bang on. I don't know why I can't get it now all of a sudden, which is messed up. Oh, that's why. Alright, let's put the heavy end down there, shall we? That'll make better sense. Okay, let's just say, for sakes, the spinal cord is positioned like so, like that, right? Okay, so when your spinal cord, when your brain sends a signal down through the cerebellum, that's your motor skills section that controls all of that, sends it down through to everything down there. When that happens, your spinal cord will resonate, and depending upon the frequency, this is why I lit it up so you guys can see these here. Depending upon the frequency it resonates at, lower frequencies, mid, high frequencies, depends upon the motor skill movement requiring for that pressure control of that area of that joint movement and everything. If it's intensely enough required, then the brain is going to signal like a jolt feeling down that area to jolt yourself out. Hear that? Yeah. As I was saying, to jolt your nerves in the direction of the angle flow, you want to move yourself as you are pre-predicting yourself to operate such as. Normal cases, that's all right. In my case, it gets a little complicated at times. Oh, if I got stable. So in normal cases, you're able to react on a quick, witty whip split of a second and everything. As long as everything is operating correctly, such as it should be, you're fine. However, though, if you're someone born in life, such as myself, in the early 80s, only a few years after the development of the invention of MRIs came out. Remind you, visual quality was not the best for TV standard at home. That being said in mind, you can imagine what it's going to be like trying to see on an imagery scan. A lot more archaic, chaotic looking back in the day. So when imagery gotten more advanced, of being able to visually see better, so did the scans and the details right down to the hairline of a fiber, of a nerve, whatever it may be, anything at this point in time now, they're able to utilize that technology correctly enough now in detecting if people have a tethered spinal cord in their spinal canal or not connecting, bridging off something else in the body. So, if you all remember that game called Operation, yeah, I think pretty much every one of us played this since we were a kid. Anyways, you know, you try to reach in for the piece and you touch the side by mistake, you get a little buzzer, right? And it kind of jolts you a bit. Your brain reacts to that buzzer sound reaction. If you don't touch the side, you know that if you can reach the piece without touching the side, you're trying to do it carefully without touching it, and you're not expecting to touch it, then your brain is proceeding that signal as a neuron node to tell the body to relax, stay calm, remain calm, and everything will be fine. However, the second you touch that buzzer side, yeah, that kind of reaction happens, right? In my case, it sends all of that sporadic. So, to give you a better visual description of what happens involving with a tethered spinal cord, let's say this elastic band piece represents of a spinal cord, or you know what I mean, tethered to the spinal cord, a piece of tissue growth. So from what I was explained, for my daughter's case, I had to have her surgical correction between age 2 to 3 years old back in 2015. This is what led to the path finally catching up to me in my case. So let's say you get a piece of tissue growth add-on. Your spinal cord is only supposed to come down about 3/4 away. Even as you grow into adult, it remains 3/4 away down. From out to the sides and further down, down to your buttocks, your leg areas, lower extremities, and so on. Controls all that through fibers of neurons coming out, or nerves coming out where the neuron travels through the pathways to send the signals where they got to go to. However, you get a piece grow on, and remember I said your spinal cord is never supposed to touch the inside of your spinal canal? But yet, if you're dealing with a spinal cord, now remember, 3/4 of the way, there's that lump, solid lump between L5 and S1 of my spine. There's no wonder the last 40 years of my life could never achieve to the goals and desires and dreams that I had in mind wanting to shoot for in life. But I've never been able to physically achieve that because of what I've been dealing with inside this body. And now I finally got that correctly understood well. Your spinal cord can't keep itself centered, and it's being flexed back by a tether sim-like piece. And it keeps it constricted and restricted so it can't resonate properly with the signal flow. And sometimes that's why I gotta get things moving and channeling through the path with a little assistance on the other end of things here. Hold on. What's that towel? Huh. Like I said, it took a lot of hard work, a lot of time to get this all figured out. Oh, there we go. As you can tell by the sounds, the different changes in the pitch, the snap, yes, that's between the tendon in my back of my mouth here. Tendons along the back because they're all connected. They're all connected. That lump sits between L5 and S1, but also that lump I can feel with my own fingers, solid as it is bridged between the center spine and the left column of the spine bracket, causing more pressure in between there, and also causing an upshift out of alignment, as I've been mentioning, to the right shoulder here, which I feel on the way back here, right here, between there and there, because of the lump causing the shift over that way, and also pressurize up that way, causing the joints here and over here, the shoulder, see, Shoulders do not naturally roll. Here, let me put something heavy in my hands. Hopefully I don't drop this glass. So it seems to take more of a reaction when there's actual weight on the nerve itself and how it responds in too much overstimulation such as that right there. This is why I keep going on about with my bosses at work with the steel toes, why I keep explaining them I can only wear the steel toes while dealing with freight. I can't wear the steel toes the entire time on the job because if I do, well, it puts too much pressure. That's another factor there too. You see that? Right foot so grotesque looking like right out of a Shrek movie. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, however, the left foot, so beautifully unscaled and everything. Learn that this disease pretty much only targets the right side and never really the left side. Also, if you happen to notice, I don't know if you can see down there or not, maybe not, but here, the shoulder, I know you can for sure. You can see right here, along here, the neckline, where the muscles more developed here on the left, but on the right. So if you look at the neckline coming down to about here, focus on like a horizon view of here, but see where you see there's a higher elevation up on this side and a lower elevation on this side. And you can see where I'm standing perfectly symmetric with myself. Body straight. Well, yeah, got scope in the way. Give me a second here. Arms straight. Everything's straight. Got them stiff for a few seconds so you can see the difference. And there's really quite a bit of difference, isn't there, folks? A little higher up here, a little lower down here. Because I lack less muscle mass on the right side where I have more of it on the left than by what seems comparisons to the right. So ultimately it's going to take surgery to remove that tether, free that up so it can reposition itself stationary as it should be and resonate at frequency properly as it should have. Ideally, once after surgery is completed, then I could be looking at a much higher quality of life, depending upon what nerves I have remaining all throughout my nervous system, my body. Yes, I can still feel, thankfully. So that's why I'm pushing the doctors to get this taken care of once and for all before I lose any of that at all. Bladder's not as bad as deficiency. Once in a while it does get to acting up, trying to relieve urine. Bowel is more problematic of a concept all there. For the past year now, entirely or more, I've been having a hard time getting poop to come out. Also on top of that, I feel in the way that lately where I've been pooping, that lump where it's swelling, it seems I can feel pressure right on the other side of that as poop. I'm not trying to sound too gross. I'm sorry about this if this is bothering anyone. I really am. But this is all for science, insight, and understanding. Okay, everyone? As poop is trying to push itself, you know, the muscle spasming of the intestine, you know, the muscle spasming trying to get the poop to squeeze out, as naturally it should be as, but it's having a harder time at times with certain loads. So again, sorry. And then it makes more so sense with me feeling that pressure exactly where that lump is lined up, to where I'm lately having a hard time squeezing crap out of my ass now, literally. Again, it's no wonder my life hasn't been able to really go anywheres. But hopefully, that'll soon all change, everyone. Once this is all taken care of, completed and everything, I'm looking forward to the next half of my existence, and hopefully a much higher quality of feeling of living as well. Oh, I should also note to remind in my reports as well, Terracotta naproxen and those little yellow health-shaped muscle relaxer. I've been on them for over a year now, 24/7, Terracotta naproxen twice a day, muscle relaxer at nighttime for going to bed. Not for going to sleep, for helping get my nerves more stabilized, muscles relaxed, and everything under control, as well as the CBD edibles that helps with the pain factor, keep that more manageable when I go to work. And when I'm about ready to get ready for bed at night, I utilize the THC edible factors to help with the muscle relax and other things, keep everything well balanced in check so I can get a more calmer, relaxing, peaceful sleep. Because let's face it, everyone, it's just about damn near impossible at this point in time at my age in life, and as bad as this condition is getting to this point now. With dealing with the tethered spinal cord, if this is it, then we're talking about an immense amount of pressure and tension because of that elastic band, like it's putting all that pressure and tension onto my nervous system in the way as you saw described in that video example where it was restrained. That causes tension, that causes pressure, that causes irritability feel up a building, that causes false negative emotions as well. So for anyone from my past, arguments, things like that, we might have gotten in that seems so frantic in an obscene, unnormal certain way. Well, now there's your answer, the reason why as that is now. As such, for the reason why I seem so much more calmer and stable of doing this video now. No, it wasn't just because of the medication and all that alone, but as I've been shown at demonstration, see, when a snap goes just right, I can feel everything, and there's only like a split second delay from right after I press in there on the nerve just right, and I feel like a rippling vibration that nerve signals. It comes up, and I can feel like you hear that crackling sound sometimes right here. I can feel and hear that all the way in here. So when I do that jolt thing I do, even when I do it from here, something about when it snaps right up near the area there, near the cerebellum of the brain, especially the feeling like it floods right up into it, I'm hit with this abundant calmness and relaxational feeling all at the same time with such equal intensity as well. So between a combination of a lot of things, everyone, this is how I finally been able to manage to understand this disease, what's been holding me back, what's been tying me down all my life, and what's been preventing me from achieving the desires, the goals, and the dreams, such as anyone else in life, that I've been trying to strive towards, such as always had a dream for innovation of pulling science, technology, and utilizing telescopes to see the stars since I was a 7-year-old little boy. Seems the world has already pretty much gotten that part down pat. So the only thing I have to do now is get on board with it all and enjoy the sights of the universe like every other astrophotographer, hobbyist, extremist out there these days. So for those who've been following me, and for those who care, for those who've been paying attention, for those who've been supportive in all this, I just wanted to take the moment, take the time to make this video, and once again to thank everyone out there who has been a big help, a big support and part of all this, getting all this figured out, as well as some other things in my life I had to get figured out, dealt with, and taken care of as well. Hopefully this video documentary will be an inspiring inspiration for others out there, such as those who are facing life challenging moments, struggling in life, and maybe whether it be medical, related to a physical or a mental factor of a reason being of an issue in your life. Hopefully this helps provide some inspiration to what you seek and how you seek it. So, meantime everyone, as always, thank you for watching and taking the time and reading.